Good morning, welcome to Morning Outlook. This is Kim speaking on Monday the 4th of March. So starting off looking at the euro dollar. Well, euro dollar last week, I'm just looking at the last two candles there, and both of them ended up, well, one graveyard doji but almost shooting star, and then the shooting star on Friday. And then we've had a gap open through the Asian session there, and it's just sold off. So not really holding on to price too well at the moment. It's back to its 821 sort of levels. It's already through its weekly pivot. It's and it's looking weak at the moment. Certainly looking weak from here. Now, I would like to normally sell on this weakness, but I need to be a bit wary this morning. I mean, we've got a load of support levels just coming through here. You can see them right across horizontally, right the way across the chart to previous lows. That sort of 1350 area. 55, around that sort of area, and just below the 1354, 55, around that area. There's been support in the past. Now, of course, we're tapping on it, and eventually it may break through. If it does, we've chance of running down further. Need to come up the bigger time frames, looking at sort of potential targets, maybe 1346 daily S1 may be there. There's nothing in terms of moving averages. We are so clumped with the moving averages here, apart from the odd outlier above us. The rest of the moving averages are on it, nesting almost in a straight line now on the daily time frame. So it does really just leave us to this sort of lower time frames, looking at what's below us in terms of support, and not a lot would suggest. So left to the horizontal support levels there. Be watching those this morning. Maybe if they get broken, it gives us the opportunities to sell off towards 1341 sort of area. Right, that's the pound, euro dollar even. Let's get on and look at the pound. He says eventually. There we go. So PMI data out this morning. Construction, it's not a big mover. It's not even on Forex Factory's normal red or orange anymore. It's been shifted down there, but maybe we get a little bit of movement at 9:30, but it hasn't, to be fair, been doing too much in recent months. What we're doing, well, we got a sell-off on Thursday, Friday there on the pound as well. It's holding up its bit better at the moment. Whether we'll see a bit more of a rollover towards the weekly pivot, there's still a bit of a gap in there, which could be a bit of a drawdown. Daily pivots already been hit on some brokers here. I mean, the e-signal is showing it a little bit out of kilter. It's 32.31. Now I need to do some more calculations on it, but it's already been hit. So although it looks like it's below at the moment on my chart, it's probably not, but the weekly will be more in line. So we've got potential to roll towards that. Maybe, I mean, looking at this chart here, maybe that 60-minute 200 could come into play. So we'll watch this morning carefully. But at the moment, it's trying to push up. It may want to push up a bit further. It ran into the 60-50 on Friday, and that halted the proceedings, and it rolled. It may get back towards that. There's the 100 moving average just above there, very lightly. You can't see it really too well on the chart maybe, but sits there about 32.55, just around about where the 50 is as well. That may just provide resistance, we'll see, but for now it's still erring on the bearish side. But there is, as I say, a bit of news this morning, but not significant. Okay, dollar yen. Dollar yen, well, it's continued last week, and it was strong all the way through in terms of the dollar here. I mean, we saw it strong Thursday, Friday, but it was also stronger on Wednesday on the dollar yen there, pushing through. It has got the weekly pivot below, may just come back to test that at some point. But for now, well, just looking at it, there's no divergences. We haven't pushed any higher than the previous high there on this time frame at least. There was a slight bit of divergence on 60-minute. It may just pull back towards the daily pivots here this morning. We'll see how it rolls. Yeah, I'd rather watch this a bit later on though. It does look like it's got a chance, as I say, coming back a little bit. Maybe it's given opportunity at some point this morning back towards even the 60-50 there, maybe the weekly pivot, but with that divergence over the tops there. Okay, that's pretty much it dollar yen. Let's have a look at the Aussie dollar. Just more of a big picture view on this. It's still looking soft, gapped up, and as with the other markets there, and there's closed the gap already. Weekly pivot is above for any targets up there. As I say, gap's been filled. There's not, and then it's filled it, pushed up and pulled back down, which suggests weakness at the moment. And just looking at this chart, I mean, as ever, we see lots of chop up until sort of later morning, 10 o'clock, maybe 11 o'clock, before we ever see too much, and I expect much the same here this morning. But eventually could be rolling over back down towards its S1. That's the Aussie, and finally the Canadian dollar. So Canadian dollar, week data on Friday pushed through towards its 50. It looks like it's going to push on through that daily 50 from what we can see at the moment, potentially. It does have some draws below, so you just need to be a bit careful. It's filled its gap up through the Asian session there. It has potential as ever to roll back a little bit. It has daily, weekly pivots sitting below there, so be wary of that. Let's just have a quick look at oil just to finish off with on this 60-minute. Yeah, it's come off quite strongly. I mean, it dropped off quite solidly on Friday there, but not by massive amounts. This is a very tight old range down the side here. So just be wary. Here you go. I'll put it into 50 cents instead of 10 cents units, and it's well, slightly tighter, but does look a bit soft at the moment, which could see the Canadian dollar pushing up. US dollar stroke Canadian dollar push up, I should say. News wise, other news today, there isn't really anything more there. I'd say it's a low level data. There's some bit low level PMI data coming out for the US there as well on construction. Now that might still move things later on with a quiet day ahead. You never know. Have a great one. Bye for now.